I rolled that back, Hamza. So we were talking about crypto. We were talking about the understanding of what the uses are of crypto.
Yeah, I was saying like if you have to go back and study money. When did money actually, the paper money come into play? And it's not that far back. People used to only have gold and silver in their pockets or any kind of things that has value. Back then in the days was sugar, rice. But then a guy, I forgot his name, from Britain, came up with this idea that how about the banks give notes, that people come put their gold, their silver, their money, everything has value, and we give them these paper notes to say that, like, Hamza has $100 worth of gold or some value that he can use to buy, and that's how money came to value. That is the dollar, But in, like, what we believe, what I believe, a lot of my, famous scholars say, the paper money is gonna go, and a currency is gonna replace it, and they truly, really believe that it's going to be cryptocurrency. It's going to be crypto. You know, I mean, and if you look at it, look how much what is it, the Bitcoin? Look how much it's worth. One Bitcoin is worth how many US dollars?
Right. It's insane. And
And
people
the
don't
US dollar
realize that.
supposed
Like, come on.
and the US dollar supposed to be the thing. Like like you have to
What
go.
I
Like I
missed.
said, I did my study for the dollar. When did the dollar became the like you said, the shit. It became the shit when, after, I
So,
think, the Great Depression. They made a deal with the Saudis, the Saudi government, that we can only buy the barrel of gas or of oil only by dollar, only with the dollar. No other currency, only the dollar. And that's what makes the U.S. currency the strongest. That's why the big powers of B, are like, no, 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 this currency is going to replace the strongest currency in the world, and that's why I think they're so afraid, and they want to make these regulations and put these laws, and that's at least what I think.
so Hamza, George, you can't hear him, but the other, on the recording we can. So I'll touch you up. So basically, Hamza agrees with what I'm about to say right now because I'm one of those people who have been speaking on this with people. I like to surround myself around a room of people that are smarter than me, and it's hard to find sometimes to be cocky, right?
I agree.
And
Yes.
I hate to say this, but when Hamza just said it's perfect because someone told me they're like cryptocurrency has zero value. There's no industrial use, and I said, well, hold on.
Industrial.
I said, hold on. Now,
Well,
gold is basically a figment of your imagination, and
mm,
the only true value of gold is the fact that people will wear it as a chain, right? And
right.
no longer is it going to be valuable to us. Like me, I don't wear any jewelry at all. I'm not saying that like I'm the epitome of everyone, but
Yeah.
90% of people I know, they're not talking to me about gold. They're talking about cryptocurrency and they're talking about what the future is behind it and what value it can bring. And aside from smart contracts, what Hamza's saying is it's replacing the dollar. So, and it is. I mean, it's going to be to a point where
Right.
if I had $1 trillion right now or a billion, I would be building a city that all uses everything that you have in this city is completely and utterly crypto. You can't use any US dollar there, right? And
Right.
it would be fun stuff like amusement parks, gambling, hotels, place for you to just go and just relax, and drive sports cars, have ATV off-road places, just basically like a wonderland. But you could also live there as well, and transpire with crypto that everybody agrees upon is actually have a value. And the whole idea of this is almost like it to me. It's almost like it brings you back to the wild, wild west, right, Hamza? So it's like this is where
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what you got in your pocket. It's what you can offer me. What can you do for me? So it's going to be almost like a bartering system where people were going to be like, well, you give me this crypto, I will make food for your family for a month as a restaurant owner, basically, right? And
Mm,
Yeah,
right.
instead of buying food from me, you can invest in my coin and we can have a smart contract where every time you buy food here, you gain coin from my company and it increases the value of my company because you continue to come here and support me. So why shouldn't you get a share of my company every time you come and support me as a customer?
yeah.
So this is how my brain works, is that everything's going to function around this idea that I have for our company, which would be that instead of paying a monthly fee for service, you pay a monthly fee to gain our service, all the offers that we bring you, me, everyone talking and learning and getting this stuff from Mickey and getting the courses. And then also on top of it, you gain something that's a value of an asset. You gain a piece of gold, a dollar, a silver, a penny, a copper, a nickel. You gain something that you feel is valuable, right? And it's also
Right.
valuable to other people because as we get bigger, as we go, it becomes more valuable. And if we can be on Binance and exchange it for Ethereum, which we already know is worth dollars, more than $1, right? $2,000 for one. So if we can eventually transpire that coin into Ethereum and be on that process, I'm not even 100% sure how it all works. I just know that I think it's possible. If I have the right developers with my mindset and the way we build things, we can make this happen. And it's right. I mean, Hamza knows. It's like literally the dollar's going to go away, coins are going to go away, and the idea that you could trade $1 for coins is the same thing as you can trade your anything for anything digitally online. And most people, I tell them, like, your money's already all digital. You can't, if you have $1 million, 100 grand, there's not a bank that I know that I can walk in and go, hey, I want 100 grand cash right now, without having to have an ID, sign paperwork, all this bullshit, right? Tell them what I'm
Man,
buying.
you pull out $10,000 one time from the bank, you get the IRS gonna be on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it, where you going, blah blah. Even though it's your money.
Yeah, they think it's their money. It is their money right now. Not anymore. Not when
No.
you don't got to go to the bank and go through all that paperwork and all that bullshit. And I can say, hey, Hamza, George, I want to buy this building for 100 grand. Let's all just go. Let's throw 10 grand and get 10 of us, and we all own it, and then we'll let it appreciate for a year and then sell it, take the profit. All through a smart contract that I create and build, and nobody's involved but us. We have the contract. Nobody can mess with it but us, right? Everyone's going to accept it because they have to, and the majority of the youth and the
Right.
youth are the ones
I think they
creating it.
have to. Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, they are because look, I work with a bunch of 20-something-year-old guys, and they all bought Dogecoin for like 5 cents. That one of them bought like $8 worth. One of them bought like $100 worth. They're worth like Robinhood wouldn't let them sell, but one of them's worth like 250. One of them's worth like 1,000. It's like yeah, but which one's it gonna be? Like, don't we need a winner?
Ethereum, in my opinion, is going to be the winner, and then it's almost like think about the .com bubble and think of when the tech companies. There was hundreds of tech companies that you could purchase when all this was going on, but then there were three that left standing, and basically it
Yeah,
was
Amazon, Cisco, and something else.
Google.
Yeah,
And you have to think about it. You're going to have to put your eggs in more than one basket, is the way I think of it.
that's the thing. Yeah.
And you just get pieces of each one, and the one that works, you just hope that you had enough piece of it to make some money out of it. And then the idea is after that is understanding what its value is and why it's valuable, why it's gonna be. So that's where the more you understand crypto, the more you understand blockchain technology, or even Solidity. And that's what I'm learning right now, Hamza. If you haven't heard of it, is look up some Solidity courses, and that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
What was that?
Yeah,
Solidity.
that makes total sense because there's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Litecoin, whatever. Everybody's trying to open up a coin. And then, like the United States government, the federal government shot down Bitcoin. I don't know how many years ago it was. I think it was in Florida as well. They're like, no, we're not going to recognize this as a currency. But it has survived, and it's $60,000 a share right now.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna recognize it as a currency now, but eventually
That's
it'll be like
insane.
against their will, they have to.
Yes, and they're gonna accept it, and then it's gonna be a
They're gonna,
point
yeah.
where, yeah, I mean, it's almost where your taco truck is gonna take it as buying a
Yeah,
taco.
you're talking new world order shit though. This is a currency that doesn't have a country.
Well, should currency have a country?
Ha. Well, okay. Who are the biggest players in the market? The banks or the governments? The governments,
No,
right? They
no,
have
no,
more
no.
money
The
than anybody.
banks,
No, no, the banks.
the
The
banks, the
banks?
banks run
The banks.
everything. The
So
government doesn't even know what we're doing.
So then they're in cohesion with the governments
No,
because
no,
by
no,
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 no, no. So
no,
the superpowers,
no.
the super money, like think about us. Like if all of us in this room became the ultra billionaires, we're the smartest developers in the world. We know how to create everything. The government's like, what's going on over there in the stock
oh,
market?
we'll
They
buy
don't
it.
know. They don't
We'll
know.
put 3 trillion in it. Yeah.
No, no,
Okay.
they
Yeah,
don't.
that
You
makes
think
sense.
that you're thinking on like a conspiracy level theory, and my
No,
mindset.
I really don't care who does what. I'm just thinking like the governments have more money than any individual on the planet, other than private businesses,
I
right?
disagree.
You really?
Yeah, I disagree too.
Okay.
Yeah, and Hamza disagrees too. He can hear you can't hear him, but he can hear you. But so, um, where the reasoning,
What's the theory?
the theory behind it, and it's not really a theory. It's just, and to me, it's facts. It's just the fact that when the government kind of tries to put out restrictions and the SEC come in, um, they're really trying to regulate things they don't understand, and they don't understand how it affects a retail trader. They're trying to hurt the big traders, which are the people that are making all the rules basically. And Google has more power and more money than anyone, in my opinion. People like that, the
Yeah.
the big banks are buddied up with these guys because they have to understand the way the flow of the market works, and they don't give a shit about rules or regulations or fines because they'll just pay them, because they're just going to take their millions and make 100 million, and then they'll pay 200 grand for a fine. And that's how the banks are kind of like, we're controlling it all. And a lot of people have that same mentality. I think that they think, Hamza, they think that the government's controlling everything, and the government's out here not really understanding what we do in the stock market.
Yeah, I believe that.
See, that's scary. If they don't understand what we're doing in the stock market, that's fucking scary. Then they're stupid and they're 10 years behind.
That's a fair statement.
They
They're
see
gonna
that this
buy
thing
in.
is
This
going
is
to
a can't beat
be
them,
the
join them.
next big thing. Yeah, they can't beat them, join them. So they
See,
want to
that's
make money.
different.
They want to make
Can't beat
money
them,
off
join
of.
them, buy more. That's different.
I'm thinking it's more of a look-de-loo. It's hey, we're not looking, but really we're dabbling in the whole time, and they're starting to get smarter, and they realize that they can't win this battle, is what it is. Anyway, it was cool. I mean, I'm glad we talked about it, because this is stuff that is probably really interesting to most of the folks out there. If anyone that ends up listening to this, you never know. And I mean, it's just the ideas of people and talking together and just realizing that there's, it's, to me, it's what really brought this on, Hamza. Like, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about now, but somebody had asked me, they're like, hey, you should talk about yourself and tell people like where you came from and be more honest with them, like the way you are with some of the people in the server, and like telling them like, that you're not just some guru on Facebook or try to tell people like how to make millions, or tell them or claim to be a millionaire, or have a mindset of somebody that's super comfortable, right? And I kind of just came into this just bullshitting with George in the beginning, and then you jumped in, and I was like, you know what, we went on this crypto thing because he asked about it. And really, part of this, like what I want to tell people, is that if you're coming into this space and you're brand new and you don't know what we're talking about, and this shit is like alien to you, then to me it's almost perfect for those people, and they should really just dive in and just like research and learn and understand that you're going to take a lot of hard hits, you're going to take a lot of blunt fists to the mouth basically when it comes to monetary, when it comes to trading. And understanding it is one of those things where there's a lot of people out there false representing the technology that's out there, and then even myself included. I'm a person that will always say my faults. I've talked about using tools when I thought I knew how to use them, and then I find a new way, which sometimes to me, Hamza, I don't know if I'll let you touch on this, but do you ever notice that like sometimes you'll use something or you'll read about it and you'll find somebody else using, let's say like a fib retracement tool, they'll use it a certain way, and then you're like, oh, it works for me that way, but then you realize that someone else is using another way, and then they use the same tool multiple different ways, right? Have you noticed that, Hamza?
Yeah, you broke up the last couple seconds there. Couldn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying that, you know, when people use the indicators out there on your trading tools, and you're using these different indicators, and you research videos on those indicators, and you realize that they are all being used in different ways, or being taught a different way, or um, they have a different mindset on it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And
Mhm.
what I was trying to
I
say
used
is
to
like,
use
go
the
ahead.
fib. The fib, I used to use the same thing. I used to use it wrong, and then I saw a couple people how to use it. On it. Oh man, yeah, that makes more sense than what I used to use it. And everybody have their way how to use it, but they have the right and the wrong. I was using it wrong in the beginning, but you learn. You do your research and you learn. You have to. You can't just don't do nothing.
Absolutely, and just diving in is probably the number one mistake of most traders that I've noticed, is diving in without actually
Oh yeah, yeah.
giving the
I
person
made
you're
that
listening
mistake
to
in the
the
beginning.
credit.
I told you guys this, in the beginning when I first started trading, it was basically when everything crashed and I just dived in.
Well, of
Oh, hold
course,
on. Hold on, give
nobody,
me a second.
no smart trader wants to just dive in, Taylor. Does that make sense?
Right.
They want to research it. They want to learn. If you're smart, you want to research it. You want to learn about it. Like,
Ah
I'm
man.
older. I don't know what cryptocurrencies do. I know that there's some mining companies out there that mine. I saw 100 and 106 in the last 2 months of Bitcoin. Like, what does that actually mean, though? You can go out there and pick up Bitcoin for free? Like, really?
You can mine it.
Mine it. That's what they're doing.
Yep, just like mining gold, Bubba.
So if you mined 100 and 106, that's 6 billion dollars in 1 month, and like 6 point something another month. Really? For what? Having a fast computer
Yeah.
or a big computer?
Or multiple fast computers. Yeah, I mean,
Right. They have like
there's
three.
a lot of companies that
There's
were
another
doing like,
company that's going to break out. They're going to break out three, and they're going to be the largest mining company in the states. I don't know what that means, but okay.
yeah, I had a segment about that. There's a lot of companies out there that were down during COVID for like the video gaming companies, and they had these really nice, badass computers, right?
Right. Why not put them to use?
Yeah, they were
Exactly.
like making them basically like self mining ATMs, you know?
If you could see, this is what I understand. Like, who exchanged paperwork or crypto? Period. Who does that? Because that's a percent of companies want to look at. Just the exchanges on the paperwork.
There isn't any paperwork. It's digital.
Yeah. No, there is.
There's zero paperwork. That's
There's
the whole
definitely.
point. It's decentralized. There's no. The whole point is to be able to
Right.
transact
There's
with
no
money without
government
having.
involved, but
Listen,
there's
George.
somebody
George.
out there that
George.
makes
Listen.
your trades.
Listen.
Right?
Listen. If
Yeah.
back in the
Okay.
day
Go ahead.
you could go break someone's horse and they could hand you cash or hand you food and nobody knew about it, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody stepped in and said, "Hold up, I'll fucking shoot you if you don't give me some money for transacting with that other person because I'm bigger and badder than you."
Wow. That's strong arm shit. Yeah. Okay.
And then now the people said, "You know what? We created our own fucking currency. You don't know how, you don't understand it. You can't strong arm us because you can't even get in."
Right, because like who's accepting it again? That's the like black market.
Everyone.
Tesla will accept
What do you
the
mean
black
who's
market.
accepted it? You can
See,
buy a car with it.
You
only
could buy tickets
Tesla.
to the basketball game
You
with it.
can buy Mavericks tickets from what's Mark Cuban. He's down. He's ready, dude. Look,
Yeah.
the big dogs are buying
Ah,
all these people in this space are
the
gonna buy all of it.
steroids.
Hamza,
The big
George, stop.
there you go.
They're gonna buy every NFL team, every NBA team, all these guys you're talking about that you're like, who has the real power? They're about to show you when they buy
Right.
everything and they make everything an NFT and they make everything a token, a non-fungible
Crypto.
asset. They're gonna make it to where it's crypto, and they're gonna make it to where everything you exchange is that way, and they're gonna rule the world.
That is the future, but hopefully we're dead and gone before
No,
that
you're
happens.
talking 5 years.
Oh shit!
Hamza, tell him.
Damn
He's in the middle of nowhere.
Sorry, putting my kids to bed.
Nah, you're good. He's like, we'll be dead and gone before that happens. I said, you're talking 5 years
You
and
know
we're
what
gonna
to
be.
tell George? Now tell George, go back and see
That's
the
scary,
creation of
man.
money.
That's fucking
You know,
scary.
go back
So you're
and
telling me
research
the
the creation
dollar
of
in
money.
my pocket
He'll
is
get an
not going to be
understanding
worth
now.
fucking shit
Hey,
unless it's traded against cryptocurrency.
George,
Fuck.
Hamza said, go look up the creation of money or creation of currency. And
Right.
he said
He's
that,
smart.
and he said that will help you get a better mindset of it.
Yeah,
Right.
this
Because
is
see,
the,
like,
this is the
I look
new
at these
currency.
United States
This is the new
Treasury
currency.
notes. That I
Yeah,
have.
we're just
They're
creating
not
new
even buying a
currency.
fucking
It used to
dollar.
be labor, and then
Right.
it became bartering, and then it
And then it was
became
gold.
gold, silver, and precious metals, and then it became
Right.
dollars and coins, and then and then it went to oil and energy, and then now it's going to
Right.
crypto.
Because I look at it like this. I look at dollars.
It's a cyclical thing. They're moving the money around, trying to keep ahead of everybody
Right.
else.
See, I look at it like dollars, pre-metals. Yeah, listen, I look at it. Dollars, precious, and drugs are three of the same, right? They're all the same. Right? Am I right? That's right. So now you're going to add a fourth one to it and be crypto.
But you say
I'm
crypto,
old, but I'm in.
but I was gonna say, when you say crypto, you got to think about it like this: take the word crypto out and imagine digital contract.
Currency. It's just currency.
It's just
Right.
it's just
Digital.
using
Right.
it's just using your credit card. You use crypto every day
Right.
by swiping that card. It's digital currency, and you trust somebody else to make that transaction and hold your money. And you can't
And
walk
take
in and
it.
grab that
And
cash though.
Nope.
You're right, though. If they get as big as you're talking about, yes, they will all accept it because gold, dollars, and drugs are all interchangeable.
No,
at
bro,
this point,
you can't
right?
go get a fucking gallon of milk for any gold.
Nope.
No, but you can trade that gold for cash. Is what I'm trying to say.
Where? Who's gonna
So
take
those
it? How long does
those
it take?
four-
How long does it take for you to
Only
do
the
that?
contract.
Half an hour.
My kid needs insulin, and all I have is gold. How long is it gonna take me to get cash to go buy that insulin?
No, dude, I love what you're saying. So you're gonna add gold, drugs, cash, and crypto. That will be the big four. Yes, I agree totally.
I think your cash is gonna be worth zilch in 10 years.
That's up.
5, yeah, could be 5.
Yeah.
You know what would be the crash of the dollar? I
See,
believe this. I see you come in. The crash of
Hold
the
on,
dollar.
George.
will
Hold on,
be-
George. Hamza's talking.
Okay.
The crash of the dollar will be when the barrel of oil is no longer bought with the dollar, but bought with cryptocurrency, or could be bought also with cryptocurrency. The reason the dollar is number one is because
Of oil.
how do you measure the dollar? Is like, okay, is the only currency that you can buy the oil from with. No other currencies used, only the dollar. Now the crash of the dollar, and that's why I believe even Dogecoin, even though I know it's a joke, I have a lot of Doge, and I know it's a joke, but I mean Dogecoin, which is a joke, is basically, let's say it's 50 cents or half a dollar, is basically almost a dollar. It's worth almost a dollar, and that's a joke. So it's just showing you that the dollar is a joke. And
The
this
dollar's
is the
it's been
crypto
the best
company-
joke that's ever played on all of us.
Yes.
The fact that I can't
paper.
fucking drive
The
a car
same-
without a
the
piece of
same-
paper.
The same toilet paper that you use to wipe your butt is the same paper that it has $100 bill on it, and you're like, oh yeah, it's money.
And that'll bring me on tangents because it's just so many things that are regulated. Like the fact that I can't go drive a car as a normal human being unless I have a license that I have to pay for or have to have a birth certificate, social. I have to tell you who I am so I can drive a car. That doesn't make any sense to me. Unless it's all monetary, right? Like everything is.
To me either.
It's all money. Like you should literally be able to do whatever the fuck you want. That's not hurting somebody without other people know. There's some certain transactions need to be
Yeah, but listen,
private.
Taylor, You're talking about regulation. Like, you don't think that they're gonna put their big finger on that shit and like regulate it?
No, they're
Because
just gonna
that's what
buy
they
the
do
shit up,
best.
and then when we make it happen and we make it real, they're gonna be richer than everybody because they had more money to begin with, and
I
they've been
think
buying it the whole time.
But
okay,
you're
they
saying that
can
the
regulate
government
it.
or the
They
SEC or
can.
whoever they are will
No,
not regulate it. And that's
no,
no,
they
they will
can
not.
regulate it, but
They
they
will
can't. This is
regulate it. They will
digital.
figure out a
It's
way to
digital.
regulate it. I'm
So,
sorry.
so George, so think about this: they can regulate it, but only enough that it's you basically can control what they regulate. Because if I create a contract that the government can't find,
You
and I transact with Hamza or anybody
That's
that and they
different.
can't find
Right.
it, guess how they find it? They can't find it because even if they find it, then I can just change one letter and they can't get in.
Wow, that's like buying a gun in the South. I could buy a gun from my neighbor or my third neighbor or whatever, and they can't track it unless I turn that number on the gun in. That's the same thing.
Essentially, kind of. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically why would I have to tell what does the bank, why would they have the right to know where I spend my money?
I wanted to know that, but that's
Because
pathetic.
they want to know everything. Even the
Everything.
Walmart is set up to manipulate us. Manipulation is what they live off of.
Smartphone, guys. I mean, you ever notice like you walk in Walmart, you buy something, or you know, and then next thing you know, you go home, you're on Facebook or something, and a Walmart commercial is coming on Facebook, and what the hell? You know, how did they know I was in Walmart? You know, anything you search, smartphone. This is the world we live in right now. Everything is monitored.
Everything, and even every idea, things that we talk about in here, like people that are in this group, I'm sure there's someone in here that's mining data from my group. I mean, I'm 100% certain. And it's it's great. In my opinion, it's all good to me because I'm just trying to stay ahead of the curve and be a part of the people that are in the know and not be the ones that
Yeah,
are the sheep.
yeah. It all
Very
comes down to
smart.
this.
That's
It all
very
comes
smart.
down to that. It comes down to like, are we gonna be the dinosaurs, or you know, the because I used to have a business. It used to be phone cards, you know, phone card business. And phone card business, I always knew, and everybody knew that was a dinosaur business. It was that's it. It's gone, you know. So I had to like, okay, listen, I make my money now, but I know this business is not gonna last me forever because nobody uses phone cards no more. Now you got Messenger, you got WhatsApp, you got Discord, you got whatever you got to. You can communicate with anybody, any place, anytime, and you don't need to buy phone cards to make phone calls. No,
Yeah.
you know,
When
and
I used to
that's
date a girl, I used to have to freaking use the house phone and have someone pick up the phone and bug you, right? And then
uh,
and then it went to like, okay, I got to get my own privacy. I want my own privacy. Well, I want to get a Nokia and get my own little smartphone. And then it went from, okay, well, they were using these minute cards and they were like, hold on, we got to regulate the minute cards because we don't know what they're saying. And they were like, well, we'll make smartphones and make these things more to where it was, remember Cricket, you used to not be able to get a smartphone on those minute plans. You had to get the cheap phone. And then they
yeah,
made it to where you can get all of it, and then they got regulated. And like you said, now they know everything that we say. Right now they're recorded. Like right now, I'm a victim. I mean, look, I got the Z Fold smartphone. Cost me $2,000. This fucking piece of material right here. Guess how much it's probably recording? It's a computer. It's this thing is crazy. And yeah, at this point, I just feel like it's
Dude, they are recording everything. If you don't think they're recording everything, they own the internet. Sorry. That's just
well, yeah. What they're building, what's happening is that Apple and Amazon and Google, they're building companies based
Did
off
you
the
hear me?
ideas. Yeah, I hear
They
you.
own everything. They
Every
are recording
Yep.
everything. They know everything. Sorry, y'all. I'll be back.
If there's an idea out there, they reproduce it. Is what That's my conspiracy. Is that every time anything that's thought of that makes sense or is going to make money, whoever has the most money just takes that idea and makes it first. That's just the way it works. You just got to be the one that strive to be better. I mean, I grew up, in a broken home, grew up in the freaking woods at one point, staying at friends' couches, going to the library to learn, and had no money in my pocket. barely was allowed to hang out with friends because the fact that their parents didn't want them around me or my family. And it got to a point where I wasn't ever told or ever given any type of guidance on monetary policies, on economics, on computer programming, any type of quantum computing, anything that had anything to do with being smart. It was all just drink a beer, get through the day, paint a house, whatever it was. That was the way my family got through. Nobody ever had smart conversations. We didn't talk about the future or where things were going. We didn't talk about money or credit or anything. No one talked to me about nothing.
I think the world just moved too fast, man. Too fast for everybody. I mean, same thing like with my dad, and so I mean, it just moves fast. I mean, boom, cars, boom, banks, boom, credit card, boom, everything, boom, this, you know, just too fast. We're still catching up to technology. Yeah, we, the older guys, I'm still catching up to technology, and yeah, my son, in school, after school thing, he was taking a coding thing. I was pushing him. I was like, no, man, go take it. Coding for computers, take it. Because if you look at it, like Bill Gates, all those guys, they're code genius,
Yep.
and that's what made them. The future is computers. I was like, no, go ahead, do that, robots, computer, anything. Because we didn't. I had a computer when I was young. Did I not use it? Hell no. So.
And now I will say that like I didn't come from complete poverty. I had some things because my grandfather, my mother's father, he was traveling salesman, entrepreneur. He created and was one of the lead and head inventors of the Ovation guitar. And
Okay.
he actually, he wasn't a very wealthy man and didn't leave me anything like that or nothing like that. It wasn't like that, but he did give us some things when he was around, and he did give us an iMac. I remember having an iMac where it was all in one computer.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like AOL messaging girls, like that's all I knew a computer was. Like I could use it to message girls, right? That was what I thought a computer could do. I didn't know what it was as a machine until literally this year.
Oh, what it was capable
Okay,
of.
but
Yeah,
look at it. Like, okay, your desktop computer, it does a lot, right? Your
I knew
laptop,
I
it
just
does
knew that it
less.
could search shit and look up.
Well,
Well, here's
no,
me.
but now
Hey,
look at
listen,
it.
look.
Like,
Growing up,
15 years
I knew
later.
porn. I knew
Right.
messaging girls, and that you could search shit and before searching. Because remember, Google. If you look up when it was invented,
Right.
you're like,
But
holy shit.
All right, look, on dial-up, you're talking like 10 minutes to download one photo, right? But your desktop computer can do a lot. Your laptop can do less. Your fucking tablet does less than that. How is that even possible? How did they make the power of those things go down? That's crazy.
That's just the way like processing and the actual components that make the transactions happen inside the computer. The smaller it gets, it's harder to make those little small parts do as much as a bigger part can do.
You think?
It's
Or
kind
is
of
that
like
regulation?
it's kind of like making a Ford Focus tow what a F-150 can do.
True that, or is that them just slowing that
Does
shit
that make
down?
sense to you? Huh? Is that right? Is that
Yeah.
true?
It makes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
See, that's all I'm asking. Like my desktop, I could do a lot. My laptop,
It's
I could
well,
do
it's all
less.
it's
I
all
bet
monetary. They can also
even
make
less.
they,
So
they
now
can.
our phones are like really fucked.
So here's what an old timer would say is that they can make a rocket go to the moon, but you can't make a road that don't break. I mean, it's all about money.
Something like that. Yeah.
Everything's built to break. Everything has its limits, and if everything lasts forever, there would be no need for it. So therefore, there wouldn't be any increase in business. So you have to downsize things. You have to make them less. Um, make it like a step up program where you're like, oh man, I need a laptop for this because I'm a traveling trader. This laptop is touchscreen, so I can hit the buttons and do my things faster. So I bought this one, and then I produce content. So then Blake's like, hey man, you actually need like a tower, you need a real computer, a gaming computer, or something that can process more to handle everything you're doing, like Adobe and editing videos and all that, etc., etc. So it's like you have to have more computing power to do these things, and it doesn't come in the form of a quarter. You know, it comes in a bigger size to do that computing, and that's the same with the crypto part, is going into where you have to have something that can handle what you're trying to accomplish, and it's all mathematical. It's all a mathematical equation that you're putting into. So if you don't know, like anyone that's listening, if you don't know how a computer works, like imagine a computer is just a blank space, as if like a baby's brain, and a baby's brain has this power to learn so much so fast in a small amount of time, and all it is making sure that you can ask that baby the right question to get the right answer. And all the time we're always like looking at them, screaming at them, yelling at them, wishing they could do this certain thing, but really you just never put in the right question, you never gave it the right solution to answer. Then eventually they get smarter because they start understanding what your dumbass is, aka your old code, HTML to Java, or coming into C++, or even going into Solidity. Once you get further and further into it, you start learning that there's a smarter way to do things. And even now, with the way that I'm learning coding and developing, it's like a caveman trying to start fire with never even know that fire existed. That's how I learn what I learned. Is I don't go out and typically get opinions from other people. I have conversations with myself. And you know, I heard this from David Goggins. If you ever heard of him, write that name down and watch a little bit about him. But he said the most intelligent conversation I've ever had is with myself. And I have those conversations with myself every day, where I'm one of those people who challenge myself, and I ask myself questions, and I have these weird, you know, I have these weird things inside my head that I don't have anyone else that I can express them to, because they just either don't get it, or they judge you, or they just feel like you're being too smart or making them feel inferior. So where I go on these tangents and just going on and on and on, it's just stuff that's inside my head that I can't fucking get out without talking about it to you guys and having an ear to listen to the ideas. And sometimes they make sense. Sometimes people are like, what the fuck's he talking about? But at the end of the day, I just want to challenge my mind. I want to learn about trading, because I feel like that's who runs the world, of the traders in the world, and that's where the money is being done. It's what when I started learning about economics and computing and computers and developing, I realized that they control everything. I can build anything if I'm a developer. I can control the world if I'm the smartest developer in the world.
Right, because everything is on fucking line. Dude, if you knock a plant or a city or whatever offline, they're literally fucked these days. They're done. They don't have a backup.
Unless you got
Is
a
that not
crossbow.
crazy? Or whatever you call it. You
Hey
know?
guys, sorry
It's
man,
crazy.
but I
Like
got
none
to
of
go.
that
It's
shit
been
Hamza,
existed
good,
when I
man.
was a
Hey,
kid. Like nothing.
hey, it's been real. I'm gonna cut off too, because my beer's empty and it's 10:51. I have dinner upstairs that I haven't eaten yet. I made it, slaved over a hot stove for the wife, made some stuffed peppers. I'm gonna go smash them. Love you
Sounds
guys,
good.
Hamza. Let's keep on rocking with these
Hey.
sessions.